Hi, Prosperity Team. This is Dr. Money coming to you from the Prosperity Corner of the universe, where silliness is sacred and nobody's perfect. I am your POP, your Professor of Prosperity, and I'm here so that all of our lives can pop with prosperity. I am excited today to have one of my oldest friends and best friends today, who is a former teacher. She's retired. She lives in her dream home in Florida. I remember when she bought the home, she was so excited about it. She was still teaching and lived in Memphis. And then she moved, and I've seen it by Zoom, and it is just absolutely beautiful where she lives in, is it Venice?
It's Venice, yeah.
Venice in Florida. And she has been on the spiritual path forever and has done everything that you can possibly ever imagine in terms of prosperity, in terms of opening her heart, probably 12-step work. And I think you've done all of it. I'd like for you to give a welcome to my friend, Emilie Blanchard. Hi, Emilie.
Hey, Anne, and everybody out there on the spiritual path and those who are still looking for the spiritual path. I'm glad to be here.
Sometimes it eludes, doesn't it? Well, we've been friends for a very long time. One of the things I will just have to share, one of the times I think our greatest prosperity moments was when we were talking together and I was riding back from a speaking engagement and both of us were just depressed as hell. And we were talking to each other. And by the time we finished talking to each other, we were in such happiness. And I said, if life is nothing more than this, it is enough. Do you remember that time?
I can't forget it. It's one of my favorite memories. And it always evokes the thought of that you can get energy from other people when there is a high energy and love energy flowing. It's exhilarating.
And something else about that moment is that when I think about it, I get kind of a little hit from that moment. I do too.
Good. I do too.
And so the essence of prosperity really is that when we're in prosperity, we must be flowing. So that's a flowing energy. So when we were apart, then and I had just left a very successful speaking engagement, but I was just really down. And when we're apart, sometimes it's hard to pull ourselves up by ourselves. And so in that call, we just kind of in unison held on to each other and just arose into the greatness of life itself. That was a wonderful experience. Now, I want to thank you because I do know that you listen to the Dr. Money videos. I know you don't listen to all of them. No one listens to all of them, but that's fine. And you make comments. And I'm wondering if you can maybe tell us, is there any particular Dr. Money video that you think you got inspired from, and you might tell us something about that?
There were actually 2 or 3 that I sort of combined because I listened to the one that you talked about. I have everything I need when I need it. And then another one was that everything is okay, that you are okay. And then I think another one that sort of blended in with that is that if you open yourself up to trusting the universe, that the universe reacts. So it's sort of a threesome thing. Everything is okay. I have everything I need when I need it, and the universe supports me. And I just recently experienced that because I had a insurance problem because I live in an old house. And there were some things that I was going to have to bring up to code. And I thought, how am I going to get this money? And I was also affirming that the universe would show me where to use my gifts. And I have been substitute teaching. And so I inquired into a job for the summer working with handicapped kids. And I was hired on the phone. And it's a very challenging job, but I absolutely love it. And I know the universe is allowing me to use my gifts. And then a couple of days later, I got a call about tutoring, which was just a short-term thing, but it let me know that the universe hears me. And so it's real important for me to try to stay focused on the good that can come my way, because if I spend too much time focusing on the negative, that's exactly what I recreate. So if I'm feeling negative, I watch one of your videos, I think about the affirmations, I go outside and get in touch with nature and feel the abundance in the universe that's here all the time.
Wow. So now on the first one, you actually took steps. Did you go to a website, or you went somewhere and applied for this position? You actually took steps. Is that correct?
I took action because I knew that I needed to bring in some money, or I could just choose to stay in fear. And that's what it was. It was being frozen in fear. And then I thought, well, what can I do? And then I thought, well, the only thing I really know I could do would be to substitute teach. So I started doing that. Then I pursued teaching in the summer, but the only thing that came up was the handicap position. And I absolutely have a big heart for handicapped children, because I had a special needs son who passed away when he was 2. And I've always loved special kids since then. And so the universe directed me to this school, and I was hired on the phone. So it's been challenging, but absolutely fulfilling. And it's physically exhausting, but I have a sense that my heart is so open and full of love for these students that I know I'm in the right place, and that the universe will get me through physically, even though it's challenging. And I have many, many health issues because I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. So I've been going through a lot of testing and traumatic events, the doctors say, but I just keep saying, I have been through things before. The universe got me through it before. I know I have the strength inside at my core being, not of my person, but of the spiritual core substance that we all are. And so therefore I can look back on that and say, you got through that, you'll get through this. You'll get through this.
And there are a lot of people who have similar situations, not maybe the exact situation you have, but they're difficult. They they hit roadblocks. But what I hear you saying, and I've known you for a long time, and I know you've had physical health challenges. I know you've had challenges with your family members who've had health challenges. I know that you've supported many people in many different ways. But what I'm hearing you saying is that you just had to keep going. It was like there wasn't any choice. It was like you could just disappear into a heap, and just fall out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Or you got to keep going.
Yes. In the years that passed, when I was going through a lot of cancer treatment, or when my son passed away, and people would say, well, how did you deal with that? It's like you can either choose to deal with it and give up and sink into a pile of self-pity, or you can just, pretend you have courage and bravery until you do. The act as if, like we used to say in the 12 steps, act as if.
Act as
if. And the courage will come, the bravery will come, and you will get through one day at a time, one event at a time. You don't have to forecast how everything is going to come out. We have such a fear of the unknown that we can get locked in it. So I have to let myself out of that jail, because that's what it is a jail.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Now, I want to make a distinction between self-pity and genuine grief, because like when you have like a child that dies, you're having genuine grief.
Right.
But now I do say that 10 years after the child has died, if we're still stuck in that place, then it's probably taken into being self-pity. So we have to make a distinction between when it's really appropriate, so that we don't take a spiritual bypass over the difficult things in our lives. But then when we are making up the stuff, the self-pity, when the poor me, the martyr, then that's the stuff that can be really instantly transcended. We can turn around immediately. So I wanted to make that point. I want to thank you so much for speaking with me. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing I'd like to say about the self-pity thing is, when you're going through a hard time, like about a month ago, I lost my beloved Eddie, my sweet little dog that rescued about 10 years ago. And I really let myself cry for a full day. And there were a lot of times that tears would come to my eyes. That's allowing yourself to process and feel those true, real feelings. Self-pity is when you just decide you're just going to wallow in it and that the whole world is doing okay except you. That's not healthy, and it doesn't move us forward. And we're all moving forward if we're on the path.
Right. Well, thank you again so much. I appreciate you being here. Let's all join together in unison and take a deep breath in. And as we breathe in our good. And as we exhale our intention that all other beings receive their good as well. Now, this is Dr. Money, and I want you to remember one more thing for sure, and that is that I love you. And you've got a last thing to say, Em?
Just love is all there really is. All there really is in the universe.
All there really is. And I'm going to repeat what you said helped you so much. And that's what I'm going to say. You're okay. I'm okay. We're okay. It's okay. I call that the supreme okayness. So thank you.
Everything is okay in this moment.
In this moment, it is okay.
Yes. Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Bye.
Namaste. Bye.
What were you going to say?
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.